The Unscaled Travel Show is brought to you by Seaboard Networks.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Unscaled Travel Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Long, here with my co-host and co-explorer, Amy.
Hello.
We are in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada, in the Diamondback Land Surveying Studios, and we're so glad that you joined us today because we are going to give you a front row seat to the very best of Las Vegas when it comes to museums. Oh, yes.
You mean there's something to do here besides gamble and drink?
We have culture. I think it is a dirty little lie that people not from Nevada spread about Las Vegas, that we are not a cultured society here. That it's all about showgirls and blackjack.
And debauchery.
And all, well, look, it's only 80% of those things. The other 20% is culture. Believe it or not. And, you know, we have been here for quite a while now. I think of us as modern day Nevadans and Las Vegans. There you go. But we, you know, the museums we're going to talk about today, some of them are brand new within the last couple of years. We'll even talk about one that's coming here in the future. And we do have some really, really great stops. Most importantly, I think these are kind of places that get you off the strip. The most people, when they think about Las Vegas, they think about the world famous strip, which is only about 4 miles of road in the entire city. But this place has a history, a deep history, thousands of years ago, you know, dinosaurs and mammoths and, well, not dinosaurs, but maybe mammoths and, you know, saber-toothed tigers and different things roamed the valley. And we have a deep history here. And then, you know, it kind of transformed. Fast forward. There were some other things that happened, but it's all really fascinating how the area and the city itself developed. And these museums help you get closer to that, at least understanding in part of how this area came to be.
Right.
And once you do it, like, I think it changes your idea and your attitude towards Sin City.
Yeah, I would say we actually have way more museums than most people probably realize. We're not even going to talk about, I would say, half of them today. Yeah. There's so many that, I mean, if you just look up museums in Vegas, you're going to get a whole list. We're going to talk about some of our favorites and some that are, I would say, uniquely Las Vegas.
Yeah.
But there's so much to do. If you want culture, now, do we have something that is comparative to the Louvre or the Met? No, we don't. But we're Vegas. We have some really other interesting things.
We have museums that are unique to us.
Exactly.
I should say.
Yeah.
But the Met, absolutely. I mean, I would say this first one, probably my favorite one. If you were to ask me what my favorite museum is in Vegas, I know you know the answer. But I'll tell you, and I think it does on some level compare to the Met and to the Louvre. Because while they distinguish themselves with art and history and like that sort of stuff, this one is dedicated to the mob era of Las Vegas, which I think is one of the most captivating times, not only in the city, but also the country.
Right. Yeah.
And that is, of course, the Mob Museum.
Yeah.
That is downtown. Originally, it was known as the National Museum of Organized Crime and Law Enforcement. And sometimes people still say that, but that's a mouthful. So we just call it the Mob Museum for short. And it is an incredible, incredible place. Every time we go there, they have something new, and there's some detail. There's something about it that you've missed in the development of the city that was just under the eye of both the federal government at the time,
right,
but also criminal organizations from coast to coast.
Yeah, I would say if you're thinking of traditional museums, this is probably the best one that we have in terms of what when you're like, I want a museum experience, this
Yep.
is the best one to go to. And they even do have some exhibits that are for things outside of Vegas, but are connected to Vegas through a particular mobster or something. So like affiliations, because there's even a section of the St. Valentine's Day Massacre wall
Yeah.
that is in the museum, which did not happen here. But when you go there, you can see it. They've put the wall back together,
Yeah.
and there's a story there, and it kind of tells you too how all these different things were related and the people who tied all the stories together.
And I think that's a good point, is that it tells the perspective not just from law enforcement's perspective, but also from the criminal organization, why they chose Las Vegas and what the dealings were, and how the money actually moved. So if you watched any of those movies like Casino or, any Vegas based show that's kind of, around that time period that people really love, it all really honestly has ties here. Like the movie Casino has direct ties. They may have changed the names, but like even to this day, I interact with the grandson of one of the characters in the movies, and it's fascinating that the family is there. They're like, yeah, we know about the car bombs. We know about the this and that and everything. We just, we don't talk about it on record, but we know about it, like that kind of thing. It's crazy.
Right. Yeah.
And it is the most, I think, probably fascinating to me anyway, the most fascinating museum in the entire city.
And even if you're a fan of architecture, the building itself is really cool. It's the former post office and federal courthouse for Las Vegas that was completed in 1933. So it's a beautiful building in itself.
Yeah.
And on one of the floors, they still have it set up as a courtroom. So it's there's so many layers to this, but my favorite part.
Tell me. I know what it is.
You know what it is?
Yeah, in the basement?
Yeah.
That little basement secret they have?
Yeah.
Okay. In the basement, they have a real working distillery, distill, and they actually have a speakeasy.
Yeah.
And this is also kind of one of those great free things, too, because you don't need a ticket to the Mob Museum to visit the speakeasy, because they do have a secret entrance.
They do.
And if you know the password of the day, which you can find if you go on their Instagram or follow them on social media, you knock on the door if you can find the door. You knock on the door, you speak the word, you can go into the speakeasy. And of course, they have drinks that are catered to the Prohibition era. So like they have a drink called the Bee's Knees.
Yeah.
Different things like that. It's really
Right.
fun to do. And there are hidden rooms.
That's what I was going to say. My favorite part is
In
there
the
are
speakeasy.
hidden rooms in the speakeasy.
I love this
the
place.
speakeasy itself and the distillery, really cool. There's so much history in there. There's pictures on the walls. There's like artifacts. But then the fact that there are hidden rooms, and we didn't even know it the first time we went there. And we just happened to, I think the second time we were there, somebody was going into one of the hidden rooms, and it was like, wait, that's a door?
They just moved the wall?
Right.
What is
It was
this?
so neat. So now it really is my favorite part of the museum.
And I could go on and on about it. In fact, I've written stories about it for national publications. It's shown up in the top museums in the country, in places like USA Today and New York Times and all of that. So it gets its accolades. It's probably one of the better known museums in our city. But I think probably the next best known is the Neon Museum.
Right. Right.
And what do they call the boneyard?
I think some people call it just the boneyard.
Yeah,
Yes.
the boneyard of it. And this is where this was founded in 1996, I believe, but it preserves Las Vegas's historic neon signs. So from all the old casinos, they get like the Stardust. They got their hands on the Stardust sign, and rather than let it just sit in a scrap heap and let it rust and rot and everything else, they preserve it and they like refurbished it. So like you can go and see these signs in the evening time. Well, you can go in the daytime too and just see them not being lit up. But like the best time is in the nighttime when they light all the signs up, the ones that work.
Yeah.
And it is a sight to behold. I mean, it is a really cool place to go.
It is really cool because it is kind of the history of Vegas through signage.
Yeah.
And not all the signs are working. They have a facility across the street where they restored the signs there and then moved them. So they'll take one from the boneyard that's not working, restore it, and then bring it back and they have lighting ceremonies every time they have a new sign there. And they just had a new one, I think last month, that they lit. And so it's kind of a big deal when they finish restoring one.
Yeah.
And so the city turns out for this, but it is a really cool museum. It's a different kind of museum because this part is outdoors. They have an inside museum, but it's mainly, I guess, more like photos and things, but the actual signs are outside. It can be quite a bit hot if you go during the day in the summer. But as you said, in the evening, the ones that are working, they light up and it's a trail to walk through them. So it's a really fun experience to do that. We've been out there. We went during the day and it was really neat to see during the day. We haven't been at night. So I want to go back and see it all lit up.
I mean, you're talking, I mentioned the Stardust, but you're talking classic signs, those old Vegas signs from like the Sahara, the Lady Luck, the Silver Slipper. We were just talking about that one earlier. And even ones like Moulin Rouge. Moulin Rouge was the first Black-owned casino in the city. And like it was destroyed all these years ago. And they have this sign and they've refurbished it. And it's a living part of history here, not only in the city, but also in our country. And it's a beautiful place. You'll always catch people taking pictures there, whether it's senior pictures or even engagement or wedding photos.
Yes.
Because it's such a unique backdrop.
It really is. Yeah.
People doing video. I know when we first got here years ago, like 2014 or so, I did some video shoots out there as well. And it's such a different thing. It is such a different like vibe and feel that you're almost caught up in it. You're like, oh, wow, wait, I'm actually here for work. But you're like walking around and looking at all the signs. But I would
say that is one of these uniquely Las Vegas museums. You're not going to find a museum like this that I know of anywhere else. Yeah. But these are all signs that were in front of properties at some point in Las Vegas's history. And now they have been collected. Most of them are here. Some of the ones that have been restored have been actually placed on Fremont Street in our downtown area to be put on display for everyone to see, but the rest are inside the Neon Museum's Neon Boneyard. So
I think the Lady Luck is the one inside Circa.
Is that the one?
Is that the Cowgirl?
The Cowgirl.
That's if you go in the Circa Hotel downtown, they have a huge one, and I think that is the Lady Luck.
It might be.
But there's also the cowboy version. I don't know.
We'll have to do some,
but it's amazing to check out. Definitely. I mean, these two places are only a couple of blocks apart too. So if you go see one, see the other. It's Unscheduled Travel Show. We'll be right back. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unscheduled Travel Show. Jeremy Long here with my co-explorer, Amy.
Hello.
We are in Sin City, Las Vegas in the Diamondback Land Surveying Studios. And, if you want to check us out online, that'd be really cool, man. Unscheduledtravelshow.com. All of our past episodes and interviews are right there online. Thank you so much for all of our new subscribers, sharing our show, growing the fan base. Man, you guys are all right. I don't care what Rick Steve says about you. You guys are all right in my book. That guy, he's got a mouth on him. I'll tell you that much. We're talking about some of the best museums here in Las Vegas. And if the Mob Museum and the Neon Museum tell the story of the people and the personality of Vegas, then probably the next couple of museums we talk about explain why this city even exists at all. And if Mob Museum is without a doubt my favorite museum in the city, this next one is my second favorite. Or if that one's 1A, this one's 1B.
I know. I really I feel like this is probably your favorite.
Depending on what mood I'm in.
Exactly.
Anyway. And that's the Atomic Museum here in Las Vegas. The Atomic Museum explores everything from the Manhattan Project and the Cold War to nuclear energy, science, medicine. And kind of ends at the Nevada test site out here once upon a time. And I've done stories on this. You can check out our YouTube, Unscaled Stories. Check out our Unscaled Stories YouTube channel. I've done a kind of like a mini documentary on, there was a time period right after the Cold War where they atomic bombs.
All right.
They set off atomic bombs not too far away from Las Vegas, and the casinos and areas around here sold tickets. You could go on the rooftops and watch atomic bombs go off and like set your watch to it. Yeah. And they had atomic drinks and atomic hairdos and kind of set off the atomic age here in the United States and kind of around the world. So it was a very fascinating time, and the Atomic Museum kind of captures all of that with a lot of declassified documents and these huge timelines, and it's just a really fascinating experience.
It really is. We've been a few times. We went when we first moved to Vegas about 10 years ago and checked it out and really enjoyed it then. For the most part, the museum has not changed, but in the front part of the museum, before you actually get your tickets, they do have some exhibits there that change out, I guess, depending on what they want to showcase. With a movie that came out not so long ago, it's kind of had a resurgence, this museum. And
Oppenheimer.
A new interest. So Oppenheimer, they've used the front exhibit area to now showcase that story and some of the other events that happened around that. So you can actually just walk in and go see that part without buying a ticket, I believe, because it's right there in the lobby. But I feel like that probably has brought some new visitors into the Atomic Museum, people who saw the movie and like, I want to know more about the actual history of it. Not him, the person, but the actual events and fallout of it. Yeah,
which is a good segue, because not only is there Oppenheimer, but the new Fallout series that's on Amazon Prime deals a lot with like nuclear fallout. It's the name and everything, but one of the iterations is Fallout Las Vegas, and they use a lot of real world Las Vegas locations in their video game. And it's a pretty popular video game as well, along with the TV show. But they have started incorporating Fallout, days. They have like Fallout days at the museum, at like the Pioneer Saloon out at Good Springs, and also the fort, the old Mormon fort downtown. And so it's just kind of a new way to get the younger generations involved, where they would know this stuff from, and it's turned out to be extremely popular.
Really? Well, that's good. That's
thousands of people showing up to these events. But, so whether you get there via the Cold War and atomic bombs, or Oppenheimer, the movie, or the Fallout video games and TV show, it doesn't matter how you get there. I think it's worth it just to go there. Like, I don't know necessarily if young children would quite grasp it.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Because it's a lot of science there. Unless you have one of those, pretty well advanced science kids or something like that. Or they play a lot of video games.
Yeah.
Something like, maybe they would know, but it might be over the littlest ones' heads. But there are things like an atomic room where you go and sit in this theater style room, and they kind of detonate
a nuclear
a
blast.
Yeah, they simulate a blast, and you have the air hitting you, and you are watching the screen and the light going off and everything. And it's fascinating.
It really
to deal
is.
with.
It really is, because right outside of that, it talks about the time you referenced earlier where the casinos sold tickets so people could go on like the rooftops or, the pool decks and watch the blast from far away. But it also talks about how photographers would be right there. Like they wanted the media there. And so they had people just not even barricaded off, just like behind a little like partition, taking photos of this. And so the simulation is supposed to be like what these people felt not too far away from the blast. And it's fascinating that this happened. It's terrifying, concerning. And then when you really start seeing some of the different exhibits, I would say you're not going to go into it and feel like super depressed and sad. Yes, it is a heavy topic, but it isn't a museum that makes you walk away like, oh, that ruined my whole day. But it does touch on some heavy topics, I would say. So again, if you're wanting something to do with little kids, this probably isn't the one to do.
Yeah. I mean, because between 1951 and 1992, they held over 900 nuclear tests just 65 miles away from Las Vegas. So while everyone out here, like across the country, or I say out here, everyone across the country is worried about the water supply, I would be more concerned about what's in the water supply.
Right.
After 928 nuclear tests, both atmospheric tests, and then they moved them underground for a long time. But you know what? Out of sight, out of mind. It's a great museum to kind of go visit. And, you know, again, it's one of my favorite places next to the Mom Museum.
I think a good museum, though, if you do have little kids and you want to take them somewhere, is our Springs Preserve. It's not just a museum. It's a park. It's multiple museums in one. They have botanical gardens. They have a little train that goes through there. They have a replica of the city back in from like the 1800s that you can walk through. It is so much. It's a full day activity. Then it's a perfect place to take little kids. And you and I just went there for the first time not too long ago.
We put it off forever.
We did. And I wish we would have gone sooner. I was so pleased with everything that was there because I had no idea. I thought it was just like a big park.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's like a marketing issue or maybe it's just like you kind of tune it out if you live here because it is something that, I mean, it's in the heart of the city. And you do hear about it throughout the year, but it's most like, oh, they're having this thing at Springs Preserve. Yeah. And if you don't know what's all involved in it, it's easy to kind of dismiss because on surface level, you look at it and you're like, okay, it's just like a botanical garden. Okay. It's like not quite 200 acres, but it is a sizable complex. But it's not only a botanical garden and hiking trails and the train that you mentioned and the old downtown that they've replicated, but there's also like a butterfly exhibit where you can go and like stand amongst the butterflies.
I just found out today they have a whole bamboo garden that's hidden.
There's a bamboo.
I just found this out today. Yeah. It's crazy.
Did they let you know? They call you up. They say, Amy.
I came across a post on it.
Oh, good.
But then outside of that, there's also, is it 4 different museums? It's 3 or 4 different museums.
3 or 4 different museums on board.
And your ticket into the park gets you into just about everything. I think there's a couple of exhibits that do have an additional fee to go into, but for the most part, you pay your entry fee into the overall Springs Preserve and you can go into all of this.
Yeah.
And I think the museum that we thought was the coolest one was the Nevada State Museum because it kind of talked about like how the area has evolved from the very beginning. But the coolest part when you walk in is it's like, I don't know, 15 feet tall, but it is the skeleton of a Columbian mammoth, which are like double the size of a woolly mammoth. And so you walk in and this is what greets you. And it's just a really cool thing. So if you have kids that are into dinosaurs, you definitely want to take them to this museum.
Yeah, it is. And because, I mean, just to reiterate, it's not just one thing. It's not just like a cultural center, but it's also historical and geological. And, you know, so many other things that are involved there. And they do have along with their, I mentioned the botanical gardens and the butterfly exhibit, but they have a nature exchange and this gallery, a waterworks museum that illustrates and shows people up close how we deal with water and getting water and keeping water here in Las Vegas, because that's a very popular topic. People don't quite understand that live outside of our area how it works here in the desert, but they show you up close with the Waterworks Museum. There's also the Nevada State Museum, which I think is the one you just mentioned, which shows the prehistoric side of it. Yeah. And just all the fascinating history that kind of comes with all of that. And there's even a little bit of wildlife to not, to think, okay, what's my child likes to look at animals. Okay, we got that too.
Yeah.
there's
I
there's
totally
animals
forgot
in
about
Springs
that.
Preserve too.
Yeah, it's a tiny, I wouldn't call it a zoo, but it was a
No, it's
tiny
not a
little
zoo.
area that they do have some animals that are native to this
Yeah.
area there that you can see. It has a playground too. It has like splash pads area. There's another museum. We didn't go into the Origin Museum, but
Yeah.
because at that time we were wanting to get out and explore more of the outside part of the area. But so there's a whole nother reason for us to go back and see what's in the Origin Museum.
It's a super popular place, like for local school kids. They often do, field trips and things there. But I think a lot of people from out of town miss this because I'm not necessarily sure they market tourists or they market to tourists.
Agreed.
But I think it's one of those things. If you want to get off strip and see something really fascinating, the Atomic Museum and Springs Preserve are two of your best options.
Yeah.
Hands down. Show you totally different sides of the city, without a doubt. Unscaled Travel Show. Keep it right here. We'll be right back. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the show. I'm Jeremy Long here with with the little dinosaur herself. Amy.
Hello.
We're in Sin City, Las Vegas in the Diamondback Land Surveying Studios, talking about some of the best museums, places to go here in the city. It's not just gambling and all that other stuff that goes bump in the night. Mm-hmm. It's also, we have some culture. Come on, man. And we have some things that are decidedly Las Vegas, very unique to our city. If some of these other ones weren't unique enough, like a mob museum.
Right.
How many other cities could, maybe Chicago, maybe New York. They might have those kind of things. But like the Neon Boneyard, come on, that's us.
Right. I mean,
come on.
Where else?
Where else but us? The Atomic Museum, where else but us? Maybe Hiroshima. One of the things Las Vegas does, and I'll say this again, better than almost anywhere else, is embracing the unusual. We are not prudes when it comes to doing the extraordinary around here. That philosophy extends to our museums, if you haven't caught on yet. These aren't the kinds of places you're likely to stumble across in most American cities. And that's my point, is that a lot of these things, we're going to talk about some fine art. We're going to do all that. But also, let's talk about our punk rock museum. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see stuff like this in maybe Seattle. They have the Mopop because they have significant contributions to, a specific genre of music here in the U.S. You might see something in Nashville with country music in different places. But this one right here, Punk Rock Museum in Vegas, and it's still fairly new. I think it opened in 23.
Okay.
So it's still fairly new as far as hitting the landscape and making its mark in our city. But it's already become one of the most talked about, and I think as word got out about our punk rock connections and just, the roots in the city, it's kind of caught on.
Yeah.
It's gaining traction.
I think people know Vegas does have we are one of the entertainment capitals of the world. So obviously we get a ton of different types of musical acts here. But I wasn't aware of how many punk bands had actually come through here. And I think that's one of the things that this museum really tries to highlight is punk music, but also kind of its impact on the city too.
Absolutely. The great thing is that it's hard enough to get museums off the ground, I think. But when you have support from a lot of bands, both big and small, both, regional and on the scene, and some that broke through to mainstream, it works and is a smoother process. So, when bands like NoFX, Bad Religion, even Blink-182, and a band that I got to meet a while back, Pennywise, those guys are so awesome. having them all kind of work together with bigger names in punk to make this a reality. Just, no one was fighting over anything. They just wanted to see the punk rock scene preserved and celebrated, because for so long, it was the it was the anti-mainstream and everything. And the I guess point of conflict for so many politicians and so many squares out there. You know what I'm saying? Like it got such a bad name and vibe over the years, and just to see it celebrated in one place, especially in a place like, where else could it exist but a place like Las Vegas,
right?
But a place like Sin City.
Well, and one of the things I really like about it is a lot of the tour guides are actual punk musicians.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them who are connected to pieces of history that are showcased in the museum. So you may be hearing about something there from somebody who actually contributed to it. Yeah. And that's a really cool thing. You're not just hearing from some random person who like just needed a job. Like, this is somebody who really like, it feels connected to the punk museum.
Makes a difference.
Yeah.
I mean, because you can go to the Met and you can get private tours, and these people live, breathe, and just sleep on art and culture and all of that, and you can feel the passion.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing if you go to a punk rock museum, and it's just some kid just spouting off things he had to memorize.
Mm-hmm.
When you actually have a musician that loves the music, that loves the scene, and knows the people involved, you feel that dedication, you feel that passion, and it reverberates. So, it means something more. And it's not a small place. I mean, it's roughly 12,000 square feet. And I know, because my friend Lawrence had something there, they're looking at already expanding it.
Oh, really?
So even though this is brand new from 2023, they're already looking at seeing what else they can do. And what would a punk museum be without an actual working tattoo place on site and a bar?
Oh, well, of course.
That is, is that not the most appropriate thing?
Yeah, I mean, it totally makes sense. You can't have a punk museum without having a tattoo shop and bar. It's how I see it.
You go see, I mean, of course they have all the exhibits, right? Instruments played by these musicians, and concert flyers and posters, handwritten lyrics like you would find,
like they jotted it down on a napkin.
Yeah, something. And after you do that, you're like, yeah, let me go get a tattoo. Boom. That makes sense. That makes sense for like an anniversary trip.
Oh.
That makes sense for like if you just went and got your kid baptized and you want to get a tattoo to commemorate, or maybe you want to get a tattoo on the kid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Holy water. And then, anyway, they also have a jam room where visitors can actually play guitars and amplifiers that were once owned by punk artists. And that's not something you see in many museums, because most places it's hands off. Punk museum,
don't touch.
They actually have a place that's hands on.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's really, really cool. Another place that is very, very Las Vegas is the Burlesque Hall of Fame. And it's a Hall of Fame, but it's actually kind of a museum. All in all, whatever you want to call it, it's a celebration of something that is very unique to Las Vegas itself. And you have some personal interactions.
I do.
And stories from there.
I do. So the Burlesque Hall
I think they
of Fame,
give you your own wing, right? Amy has a wing at the Burlesque Hall of Fame.
Oh, please.
We won't tell you what it's for. This is a family show. You'll have to pay the ticket. This
is a very interesting museum. It's dedicated to the art of burlesque, which is a dance form. A lot of people have probably heard of burlesque, don't know what it is exactly. It is, how do I say this? Kind of
it's sexy dancing.
It's a sexy dancing where maybe gloves come off. Maybe if you have on like a jacket or something over something else, that comes off. It is not, I would say, it's not what a lot of people think it is in like stripping. It's not that type of thing. It is an actual like sexy dance. So the front part of the space is a museum. It has so many different artifacts, things people have collected who have been in the industry and who have been part of burlesque. There's photographs in there, but actual pieces of costume, things like that. But in the back, it's interesting. They have a kind of dance studio, and they teach burlesque classes, and that's why I was there. Some friends of mine thought, hey, it'll be fun. Let's all go and take a burlesque class together. And I have to say, I was not good at it. And unfortunately, one whole wall is mirrors, as most dance studios are. So you get to see how not good you are at being sexy. The teacher is like showing us how to move and pose, and we have like scarves that we're kind of dancing with, and just watching yourself in the mirror. Like, you want to believe that you're doing this well. But your eyes do not deceive you. So it is an experience I will never forget.
Well, I mean, that's why I said that you had a wing there. I didn't say it was for legendary performances. I just said you had a wing there. That's good. You know what? Being totally honest, I mean, having, mirrors face you while you do anything.
Yeah.
Anything. Ironing. Running in place, anything like that it can be humbling.
Very, very humbling. But if you are not there for a class, you are just there to see the museum itself. They have costumes, like I said, they have other memorabilia, photos, things going all the way back to the 50s when burlesque was kind of created or brought to this area, I guess. And it is really neat to see it, because it's just another piece of Vegas history. And you're seeing actual items that were used in the city 70 years ago. So it's just another fun part of Vegas history, I would say, on top of being, preserving a dance form that a lot of people probably don't really know anything about.
Yeah, I get it. Okay. So I also know, just because we've talked about it before, but every year they host a Burlesque Hall of Fame weekend. Which is like a whole festival designed around the art form of this dance, the burlesque, and usually in May. So I think right now it just passed not too long ago, but it is. I think they just started it a few years ago, but now it's turned into like a huge, huge deal for them and for people all around the world that kind of get into the burlesque. So it doesn't matter your background or anything, you can come out and enjoy the burlesque weekend.
Yeah. I mean, it is a really neat place to see. Yeah. It's not, if you're thinking of like a traditional museum, it's not like that. It is more of like a dance studio, but in the front is all the memorabilia and photos that you kind of walk through to get to the back of the studio. So if you're expecting some big exhibit, you may be a little bit disappointed, but if you're a true fan of dance, I think this is something you would enjoy.
But they have a lot of like costumes and things like that have been saved.
They do.
From performers all around the world, including the legendary performer. I know you know who I'm talking about, but Tempest Storm.
Oh.
You know Tempest Storm. Do you know Tempest Storm?
No.
Okay. I'm sorry. You got me off guard. Okay.
Am I supposed to?
They got stuff from her too. Keep it right here on Scale Travel Show. We'll be right back. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the show. Jeremy Long here with my co-explorer, Amy.
Hello.
We're in Las Vegas, Nevada, the Diamondback Land Surveying Studios, talking about the best museums our city has to offer, because it's always a point where people ask, is there anything in Las Vegas other than casinos or whatever? And we're like, yeah, we got some museums. And we have some really fascinating ones that are unique to us. And one that is really unique is the Pinball Hall of Fame. It's another one of these, they call themselves a Hall of Fame, but it is more like, a museum and an ode to this, unique form of entertainment. And where, some museums ask you not to touch anything, but this one practically begs you to. In fact, they encourage it, because, it's free to get in. It's on the strip or right off the strip. And all you got to do is bring a sack full of quarters and you can play some vintage and some downright old pinball machines.
Yeah.
Some of your favorites, like the ones that I always remember, like the Addams Family, the Twilight Zone. Those are like classic pinball games that I remember playing when I was young. But these are right there. And so, they go from a quarter all the way up to a couple of dollars, I think, for some of
the newer ones
or something like that. But like, spend as much as you want, make a donation, whatever, but you're encouraged. Show up, come in for free, check out the pinball machines.
Yeah, it's neat because, they call it a Hall of Fame / museum, but really it's an awesome arcade to go into. So this is one of these areas where on these super hot days we get in the middle of the summer, you need to get out of the heat and just find something to do for a couple of hours. This is a fun way to do it. And as you said, it could be fairly inexpensive. Some of the games are just a quarter to play. So depending on how good you are at pinball, you may play all afternoon on a quarter. I don't know, but it's kind of one of those experiences. I'm sure they have pinball machine collections other places, but Vegas takes everything to an extreme. So this is like there. I didn't even know until this museum opened that there was a Las Vegas Pinball Collectors Club.
Yeah.
And they came together and basically put all their collections together to create this museum, but more an experience for people. They want to share their love of pinball machines with other people.
Yeah, I had the privilege of doing a couple of stories now and speaking with the owners of the pinball machines, Pinball Hall of Fame, excuse me. And they're just they're proud of, I think now the collection is over like 500 pinball machines going back to the 1950s and even earlier. And they're really psyched about what they have. They have a brand new Pinball Hall of Fame building that's just a couple of years old now, and it's huge. Yeah, it's ginormous to hold all these pinball machines.
It's really cool.
It's something that's got to be seen to believe, just like everything else here in the city. Keep it right here on Scale Travel Show. We're going to play some pinball when we come back. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unscaled Travel Show. Jeremy Long here with my co-host and co-explorer, Amy.
Hello.
Forgot what I was saying. We're in beautiful Sin City in the Diamondback Land Surveying Studios talking about some of the best museums in Las Vegas. Get off the strip. Look, you've dropped enough money at the craps table. It's time to get some culture in your life, right? We have some very, very unique museums here in our city. And, we have, I think, a little bit of something for everyone, even car enthusiasts. Car enthusiasts, I think, there's actually a few different car collections and museums like in the city, but one of the best ones that stands out is the Shelby Heritage Center. And it kind of tells the story of the legendary Carroll Shelby, from the movie Ferrari versus Ford or Ford versus Ferrari. Yep. Kind of tells that story, right? From winning the 24 hours of Le Mans to creating some of the most iconic American performance cars ever built. And, this is somewhere where car enthusiasts could spend a couple of hours.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know, someone like your dad.
Yes.
Your dad who loves classic cars.
When they came to visit us last, I do think he went down there because on top of that, my mom loves Mustangs.
Oh, yes. She
so,
does.
I mean, she
Absolutely.
drove a Mustang for quite a while. And she loved seeing that car. She loved driving that car. And so he took her there to go check out this museum, which, fun little note, it is a free museum. You can just go in and check everything out, and they don't make you pay. I love that.
And unlike the punk rock museum and maybe the pinball museum, no touchy.
No touching.
No touching on
Right.
space, right? But the Shelby American Manufacturing Facility is located next door. So they often have those guided tours that people love, you know, where they go in and look at the production area where modern Shelby vehicles are actually assembled. Because Las Vegas, I don't know if you knew this, but they became Shelby American's headquarters in 1998.
I did not know that. I thought it was just a museum. I had no idea production was actually happening there. Because you can see it. It's right down from the strip. When you're driving into the city from LA, you pass right by this on the highway.
Yeah, absolutely. So in there, you can see some original like Shelby Cobras. Oh my God. Some GT 350s and 500s. Historic race cars, and you get all kinds of insight into Carroll Shelby's life, the memorabilia, personal artifacts, different things like that. So if you have a car person in your life or an enthusiast, or you like it yourself, or you just want to go check out a really awesome free museum, the Shelby Heritage Center is definitely the place you want to check out.
Yeah, that's really cool. Another place my parents went to was the Hollywood Cars Museum. It's kind of across the highway from the strip, but it is a very big collection of vehicles from TV shows and movies. I would say it's probably more geared towards older people. It's not a lot of current movie and TV show cars in here, but a lot of things from like when you and I were kids and like when our parents were maybe teenagers.
Like the
Batmobile, yes.
Ooh, okay.
Herbie the Love Bug, the car from Knight Rider is in there.
Oh, Kit.
One of the DeLoreans from Back to the Future. Doc Hudson's Hornet, the car from Cars. The actual car.
like Paul Newman voice.
Yes, but the actual car it's based on is in this museum.
That's
so
awesome.
I don't know the exact number of how many cars are in there, but there's a lot. It's like this big warehouse.
Do they have the Ghostbusters car? That's one of
I
them.
have a feeling they do.
They probably did.
But they have so many, and it's been a while since I was in there because I did walk through it with our kids when they were younger, and it was neat because they did have like a replica of the Flintstones car and some things from Bugs Bunny and other cartoons that our kids, watch. They made replicas of those vehicles, so your kids, I think, would enjoy it if they watched a lot of TV or movies, but I think it's probably more for people our age and a little bit older to see things from.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but we watched a lot of TV too. TV was our babysitter. But okay, so at the very top of the show, I said we are not without our fine art
right
here because, not anymore anyway, because we are actually presently in the midst of a fine art revolution in the city because we just opened our brand new Southern Nevada Museum of Fine Arts, which they just changed the name to the Metropolitan Gallery of Las Vegas. Okay. This is a fine art gallery that's in the Arts District that has, I believe, somewhere in the neighborhood of 400 or 500 art pieces inside of it. And it is a spectacular place. It's still pretty new. So a lot of people are just now learning about it. But we do have an actual standalone art gallery now. And better yet, and I know because I saw the look on your face just a second ago, you were wondering, but what else, Jeremy? But what else? It's scheduled to open in 2028 or 2029 because it's currently being built, is the Las Vegas Museum of Art. This thing is going to be phenomenal. If you go to their website, lvma.art, you can see renderings of what the building is supposed to look like when it's finished. It looks amazing.
And so this is going to be a true fine art gallery also?
Yes. And it's going to be huge. And, they are working with the folks at the It's supposed to be 90,000 square feet.
Wow.
It's supposed to be massive. But let's say they are working with the folks at, I believe, the Los Angeles fine art community, and I believe the New York fine art gallery community to make this thing happen. It's going to be at Symphony Park, which is over by the Smith Center.
Right. Yeah.
Which I believe, I think you read somewhere too, that they are trying to turn that whole area into kind of like an arts district-esque.
Yeah. It's
or a museum.
It's on the edge of the arts district, but I think this particular area, because right next to the Smith Center is the Discovery Children's Museum,
which is a great place.
A fun science museum for kids. There's a few of these across the country. We've taken our kids when they were younger to the one in Houston, and they have put. But in front of the Smith Center, there's a few pieces of art, sculptures over there. I feel like they're trying to build this piece of the city up into a little bit of a museum district. So it makes sense to me that this new fine art gallery is going to be there. 90,000 square feet is huge. I can't wrap my head around where exactly it's going to go over there, but that's definitely one that I want to go see.
Unless I mean multiple stories as well.
That's probably, yeah.
That's probably, I mean, but being there and with the Smith Center and all of that, I mean, you talk about a cultural hub in Las Vegas itself that I can't wait for it to happen because you know me.
I love museums.
I love a good art museum.
Every time we travel, we go to a new museum.
I'm one of those people, I can just stare at art just all day. Make you like reflect on life and things like. It's either that or skipping rocks across a lake. Those are the things that help me get through everything. I love you. But maybe you like the old classic. Okay, you like some old classic. I'm going to go to a museum. I want to see some dinosaurs. I want to see some, a bone of something. Maybe you're one of those folks. I got something for you, right? Because our very own Las Vegas Natural History Museum, Science and History Museum, by the way. Is rocking and rolling still, man. And it is a wonderful place to go check out. It's only a couple of bucks to get in. And they have all kinds of, I think, really amazing exhibits. Yeah. But my favorite, of course, the hands-on stuff. I know it's like for kids.
Not
I know
all
that.
of
I saw
it,
that.
though.
I saw a look on your face. Like
Not
I
all
know.
of it. This is actually a Smithsonian affiliate museum, along with one of the museums we talked about earlier in the show, the Atomic Museum. That is also a Smithsonian affiliate. Yes. So this is a great museum. I will say, when you first go in, if they haven't changed it since we were there last, like 2 years ago, the first exhibit you walk into felt a little bit like, oh, okay. I mean, they had some kind of, I guess, replica animals there, like different animals from different regions. And you kind of walk around and it was like, oh, all right, this is whatever. But then when you actually move farther, deeper into the museum, it definitely gets better. And like they had a whole exhibit on like marine life, and they had different animals there. That
they actually have some like sharks, like smaller sharks, and like because it's not like a full on aquarium. But they had sharks on the exhibit and some different like fish and reptiles and kind of things. And then all of a sudden, boom, you're like in ancient Egypt.
Yeah, that was my favorite part.
And you're like walking around going, wait, what's King Tut doing here? And like, but it all ties back into the city and actually our fascination here in Las Vegas with ancient Egypt for some reason. The Luxor, is modeled after it. And there's so many things in the city that's kind of modeled after Egypt and why it's all tied back in. And then like you turn the corner and boom, you're staring at a T-Rex. Yeah. Or a T-Rex staring back at you. Anyway.
I mean, there were so many different types of exhibits. Like like I said, we first walked in, I was like, this doesn't seem that great. But then you start actually getting deeper into the museum and it gets more compelling and more like fully built out and fleshed out, and it was really neat. And then as we're walking around, we stumbled across this it almost looked like an office, but the door was open and it had a sign like you can come in, and there were all these like bones and stuff in this room, and there was like a little half wall, and so we're kind of walking in looking around. We didn't see anyone else in there, and then all of a sudden this head pops up and he's like, hello.
If you've never been almost scared to death by a paleontologist, well, this is the place for you, because this guy scared the life out of us. And I have to say, I've never actually met a paleontologist until that day.
I had
and
not
he
either.
almost scared me to death. I screamed. That's how scared I was. He popped out of nowhere.
He was so interesting to talk to. He was showing us some of the bones that they've like
a mammoth tusk.
a mammoth that they've recently found, not here in the city.
Yeah.
And he was just talking to us about some of the things in the museum, and like to actually speak to someone who not only knows this stuff but is involved in it. It was really, really cool.
Just really amazing. And they're tied like almost directly into the Ice Fossil State Park, which is one of the newest state parks here in the city.
The Ice Age Fossil.
Ice Age Fossil State Park. And right here. And it's all kind of tied in together. And this is where they work and dig up things and everything. So, I mean, it's just really crazy and amazing. So, like, you know, you want a good scare? Go there. Paleontologists, scare the pants off of you. See a mammoth tusk. Walk around, see King Tut's tomb. All kinds of stuff here in the city, man. Like, we hope you helped you out. We hope you wrote some stuff down, and we hope more than anything you get out. Check out some of the museums here in Vegas. We'll see you guys next time.